Hello veg lovers, and welcome back to my small garden in the sunshine again. It's been beautiful. What a beautiful start to April and a beautiful end to March, to be honest. Unfortunately, I think this is the last week, as next week I think rain is forecast, and once it rains here, well, it never knows when to stop. So I'm making the most of this. This is a bit of a catch-up video then, just to see what's happening in the garden for this month, because then obviously May is a time for planting new things, and hopefully we might get some decent weather back by then to do a bit more filming. If you do have any questions or anything you'd like to ask, please always leave a comment below. I try to answer as many as I can, generally all, so please feel free to ask anything you want about the garden. I'm no expert, but I will try and help, or you can give me advice on things. That's very much appreciated. And let's go and see what's going on inside the garden. Well, starting as normal, we have the onions and garlic, which are holding their own. The onions look a little bit lackluster, I'd say, compared with the garlic, which is doing incredibly well, perhaps because that gets more sun than that side. So it's worth taking that into account when you're planting your vegetables, where the sun is, where it spends most of its time, and perhaps over this side, with that being slightly cooler, even just by a few feet slightly cooler, that might be better for in the future growing cooler loving crops, perhaps more lettuces and things like that. But it's still growing, so I'm not really moaning much about that. Strawberries are starting to grow a bit now, so hopefully they will grow reasonably well, rapidly I should say, once we get the rains in. Raspberries, the raspberry bush is in full leaf now. Isn't it lovely at this time of year when you see the greens on the leaves? It's just so lush and they're so sparkly, clean looking, you know what I mean? You get a bit jaded later in the summer months. It just becomes more like brown edges and not as crisp and clear as they are at the moment. They're just beautiful at the moment. The daffodils are obviously dying, or died as the case may be. The apple tree is starting to blossom. It's a shame that we haven't got this weather for longer, because you know, when it comes out, the blossom is beautiful. The rhubarb has certainly taken off. This is the first year for this rhubarb, so I will not be picking any of it, and next year I can only take a small amount of it. It could be the year after before it's really edible and put into an apple and rhubarb crumble. That sounds gorgeous. Now I've got down here, I've got things obviously that I can't remember what they are. They've either self-seeded or the remnants of things I've planted in the past that have come through now that didn't before. Well, here I've got oregano. Now I did plant that, so I do know what that is. I have no idea what's coming through here, so we'll have a look at that. And what I have noticed in this little bit down here is sorrel. So I mean, I did plant sorrel many years ago, but I haven't planted it for years, but now it's there. The spinach that I planted is doing fine. It's there, it's holding its own, so I can't moan. And we have some self-seeded forget-me-nots which turn up everywhere, and I do like them. I think they're really pretty in the garden. They just sort of lend themselves to flowering wherever they like, and it always looks good no matter where they are. Sugar snap peas, they're growing well, so I'm hoping that they continue, and they'll probably get a nice growth spurt once we have these rains. Nothing's come through yet from the salad onions, the red ones or the green ones. Nothing yet, so I'm not sure. I always find that salad onions seem to take forever to come through, So again, perhaps the rains will help with those. Potatoes, I'm not expecting to see anything come through for a while. Well, I hope not until the risk of frost is gone. So I'll have to cover them if I do. These are what I planted the other week. These are beetroots, and they're fine. They're growing a little bit. This is one of the blueberries, which is now full leaf, and it looks really healthy. So that good bit of pruning did wonders. Now let me just take you over here. Oops. Let me just take you over this side of the pond. Now the honeyberry, it's getting a little bit more light now I pulled it out. And like I say, it still did have some flowers, so we will have a little bit of fruit. The gunnera is starting to grow, and that could probably actually do with a little bit new compost in there. Really, it's been a while since that's had any compost, so it could do with some more. Now in the cold frame we've got the cumin, coriander, peppermint and basil. Now I'm going to leave them a little bit longer. Well, I'm going to leave them as long as I can, I think. Over the other side we did plant up a few of the other things that didn't really work, so I need to replant some of those. There's some little bit of thyme come through there, but I wasn't expecting great things from them. We've got the salad leaves in here, which are fine. They were only planted in there last week, so I'm not expecting them to grow much yet. The radishes, they are growing. They're growing quite well, so that's really good. The broad beans are growing. Obviously some little insects are eating at them as leaves, but that's okay, they're still growing fine. Now the black Nebula carrots, where are they? I was looking at somebody else online and they said their carrots were later coming through. So I think I can see a couple coming through, small ones, maybe. I'll have to keep an eye on them, because this is going to throw me out, you see, with my plan. Because my plan, obviously, I've sort of taken into account when they should be ready to eat and then plant with what goes there. But that might not be possible if things are late. Over on my flower bed here, remember I said I wasn't sure what these were that were coming through, and I said they might be alliums. Well, I definitely think they are, looking at the flower head. So I think these are definitely the alliums I planted in the autumn. So that they will be really pleasant. It'll be a pleasant thing to see when they come through. I have got here growing, these are raspberries, the cane ones. They are the tall ones. They were originally here where these bits of wood were here, but they've migrated and they have grown outside the bed to this point. So they do have really tasty raspberries, so I might let them grow on, but they become a little bit straggly and they do block the light off from everything else on this bed. The rosemary, of course, always looks good and does its thing. Down here I have got some more oregano, and that is okay. Chives here, now I didn't plant those there. They've obviously self-seeded from the mother plant or plants, which are those two. we seem to have something happening with the black currant bush over there as well. It's starting to get little parts of that will flower and have fruit, which is really nice to see for its first year. I'm not sure what's going to happen with the wild garlic here. It's a little bit late in the season for it, but at least a few did come through, so next year hopefully we'll see a few more. Bluebells didn't come through, which I'm not expecting for a few years. The plum is still looking beautiful. It's still really nice, and I'm hoping that then we do get some plums this year, and hopefully no aphids. I think that's because we've had a dry spring, to be honest, because the last two have been very wet, and I think that encouraged the aphids more. And of course the fig is always pretty productive. Upstairs I have other sprouting seeds that will be ready to go in next month, and they're all growing very well. I won't bother to show you those today. I'll show you those next time probably. So for now I think that's it for April. I think April has been beautiful. Well, certainly end of March, beginning of April has been lovely. I'm hoping that everything carries on growing well, and other seeds will be getting ready to be planted next month. Exciting month May, next one, because where we grow the beans and courgettes and quite a lot of things actually for May. So hoping that we don't get late frosts. So thank you for joining me, veg lovers, and I will see you next time. Enjoy the sunshine for now, and hopefully we'll get some more in May. See you then. Bye.